Hey, welcome to the Runaways podcast. My name is Cody. We are back for another week. And, well, Dan was talking about just before the podcast started how the people have spoken. Florian is back, apparently, super back, winning everything, probably best deck in the game. We'll talk about that tonight, as well as we got some spoiler cards. A little late, I guess, is better than ever. So we have some spoiler cards to talk about. We only have a couple of days until we're flying out to go play the world premiere, so...
how can it be late if it's still currently going on, right?
Sure, it still feels late. It feels like we should have had these already. I'll be getting on a plane, and they'll be still spoiling cards. They'll be like, "Here's some spoilers while you're on the plane," which is it's a decision. But let's talk about this last week in FAB. Noah, what have you done? I saw you were on stream. Weren't you on stream for a game?
I was. Yeah, it was a very memorable game.
How'd your weekend go?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, we got to play in another AGE. It was interesting. They schedule once per month, but it just happened that one was the last week of a month and one was the first week of a month. So we had them on back-to-back weekends. I'll let Fino go into more about how the end of the tournament went. But the tournament started off great for me. I started 4-0. And the cool thing about AGEs is like you kind of have a bit of a grudge match thing going on where you play into the same people often. So yeah, it happened twice where I played into Paul on Acilio, the Talishar Paul. And yeah, he had my number. He slammed them D-reacts on the board with confidence and then comboed me. And then in top 8, I lost to Will, the same gravy that I played against on stream. If you guys haven't watched that game, you should go back and watch. It's on the Mansant YouTube channel. There's a lot of stream games that day that were nice. He had us hot mic'd, and it's, not official LSS, so we were allowed to just talk as we pleased. So there's definitely some colorful commentary on those games. But it was a good weekend. I keep playing Slippy. This weekend was no bonds, right? I forget because the card is so useless.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I played with no bonds. It was funny. Round 1, I played against a Mario, and I was like, oh, this matchup feels so much better now that they don't have bonds. Like, sure, they have some advantage, but my opponent let an infiltrate hit, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I won. And then I played into round 2 Florian, so I was like, all right, I feel like this should be the punishment of playing Slippy, is like I pair into Mario and then Florian, but I was able to win that one too, and I was like, okay, things are looking up, and unfortunately ended up losing in top 8, which means Fino's now the number 1 AGE points leaderboard man. He's the head honcho.
Still the number 1.
Yeah, still he retained his title.
Still.
He only went to
I said stop the count.
Me,
I said stop the count.
Yeah. You went to 2 more tournaments than me. You only have 3 more actual game wins than me in those 2 tournaments, but you can be number 1.
I got 2 wins and through the whole thing.
Agree. Same.
And second place.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Playing FAB, and then I'm just gonna keep playing Slippy until the new set. I know Florian is really good, and I'm definitely gonna revisit him after the new set. But I'm always the one looking out for shiny new toys, so I'd rather look and explore the new heroes before going back to the past.
Makes sense. I guess since we mentioned it, Fino, the big winner of the weekend.
I feel like Noah had more to say about this than I did.
Because I'm salty, dude. I gotta complain. Come on. I got completely juiced. My opponent goes chart, mill 2 guys, tipple, mill another guy on turn 0, and my hand is like 4 card 3. It's not a winning strategy.
Meanwhile, in one of my grudge matches, because I played against the Jarl there twice, the second time I faced him, I had a hand where I went draw actual quad ally, and I was like, oh no, and I had like no way to outlet them or anything. So I just ended up just raw dogging allies onto the board from hand with Mage Masters. It was not it, but still got there. And it was also funny. I had another grudge match against Connor. I played him in the top 8 the weekend before, and I was like pretty close to winning that game. I had a chum on board, and he was like really close to fatigue. If I activate the chum, he just fatigues. Didn't find an ally in the top 10 cards of my deck. I had 2 turns to find an ally with searching with the hero power with gold. Nothing. Faced him again in the finals of this one, and he low rolled into oblivion. That poor man just did not have a functioning turn all game. So such is the life of playing Dio. But yeah, the deck list is up on my Patreon, and I'm probably gonna have some more to talk about it on my own stream tomorrow. I'm planning on doing like a deck tech and going over some interesting gravy data. Philip from Fabry actually sent me a data dump on Gravy's performance across events in comparison to the players that did well in Team Armory at other events, comparing it to their Gravy win rate at this event, and then comparing it to other people on Gravy. So I'm going to be talking about that, and I got some interesting data things to share about that. So check out the channel. I'll be streaming sometime tomorrow night.
This is why I have to go first, so that way we gotta give the people like a 3-minute insulation from the Pheno plug stream.
I mean, that's pretty good. I'm curious to see what that information looks like. So
Yeah, I want to see the data.
Yeah.
I like data.
Data. I mean,
I can love data.
I love
We gotta have
data.
something to do. We can save it and listen to it on the flight or drive to Montreal.
Fair.
Hey. Dan's gonna have something to plug later, so don't hate.
Well,
Okay.
Dan, our
podcast.
weekend was a lot less exciting than their weekend. But how was your weekend in Fab?
My weekend was uneventful in Fab. I mostly did like housework and got a bunch of prep done for all the like upcoming travel I have. But during the week, I spent a lot of time working on my updated Marionette deck, post ban, figuring out which direction I want to go. Got that dialed in. Did some chain gameplay in Living Legend, of course. Had a blast there. But no, mostly I was working on Marionette. Like, how should the deck look now? I dedicated way too much time just thinking about the deck. Like, any free time I had was just like, well, what if I play this blue and then play this like reaction package? And got to a spot I liked. I got to test it out at Armory on Monday. Got the 3-0. Deck feels good still. I think losing bonds is kind of sucks, but it's not a big deal.
I think it's less of a big deal than people made it out to be. Especially, I mean, depends on what version you're
Depends on
playing
the meta.
of Mario, and the meta as well. Obviously,
like-
it was a very powerful card, but
Yeah, it's just a big deal for like the aggro matchups where like if you land one bonds that connects, usually you're like ahead enough. We just like don't have that now. Black Widow's like kind of whatever.
true. Well, did you put any of this information to good use?
I sure did. Do you want me to plug it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I
it's just plug central right now. It's just
yeah. We've been talking about it for a little bit. I've been working on a Mario Arachne Marionette Metafy guide. Basically, I've been playing this hero since release. Not consistently. I played kind of on and off, and then the last, 3 months or so, since a month before US Nats, I played nothing but Marionette in CC. So I wanted to put all of that knowledge down to paper. I put this guide together. It was ready last week, but then Bonds got banned. I think I joked about it last episode, but I literally wrote an entire page about why Bonds of Agony is so good and why my deck is so good at resolving the card. So I had to rethink that section and the deck itself a little bit. But I think I have a pretty cool take on the deck. I don't know. I feel like for any deck in this game, you like look at the list, you're like, oh, I know these cards. These are good cards. But once you break down like all the pieces, why they're in, look at the sideboard configurations, it all kind of makes more sense. I went a different route than I think most people are going right now. I think daggers are kind of the default. I even said this last week. I think like, yeah, just play daggers. It's consistent. It'll probably work out. I actually went the complete opposite. I think I still want to be playing all of the Justin X and all of the mantles. So I have a very like disruption oriented build, leveraging those two cards and trying to continue just disrupting the opponent as much as possible. And then the second you like stop them from having an offensive turn, you just snowball with big damage and evasive damage. So that's kind of the concept. So that article or guide is out now. Be sure to check it out. I do have one positive feedback already I can share. I had shared my list and sideboard early with Tattle Down on YouTube. If you've seen him, he recently started making content. He's focused on Arachne Marionette right now as well, doing some like gameplay videos. But I gave him my list before calling Copenhagen and kind of talked through the sideboard with him. And he successfully piloted it to his first ever calling cash finish, even taking down the Michael Hamilton on Gravy Bones. Hard matchup, even harder opponent. So that's speaks well to the deck list, I think. So check him out on YouTube. He's doing some good Mario content with like other top finishes as well, doing some cool deck techs. But he's already part of the deck. He recommends it. So check it out. If you do decide to purchase it, please reach out if you have any feedback, any questions, or if there's anything not in the article that you think should be, that you think is helpful to everybody. Let me know and I'll see if I can add that.
Sweet. Yeah, that'll be on our Metafy. Everyone has been asking for your guide for a while now, so it sucked that the exact time you're going to release it, they banned a massive card from it, but it's probably for the best because you got to spend a lot more time on it, and now you actually have a functional build post nerf, which might end up being pretty positive moving the next section. I just played games. That's all I did this last week for FAB. I played some games. I played a bunch of Chain. Not going to complain about that. It's nice that I can play Chain again. I wish more of my games in LL were games that I played and not just like one of us nutted on the other person. It would be really nice, but at least, I don't know, 30% of the games that I play are just like 1%. I got the stuff. I'm going to win this turn. And then we're like, okay. And then there's like, I don't know, 30% of the games where it feels good. You're like back and forth, make decisions, do the thing. The deck actually like you actually realize your edge in the matchup. And then 30% you're just going off, 30% they're going off, 30% you have a real game. So I don't know. Probably going to need some.
Maybe this is why they made best of 3, Hopefully you there's like a phantom 3 games that take place, and the one game of LL you actually do play is that 1 in 3 that's a good game.
Maybe, except that's not how Swiss works, so. I will say I'm a little concerned about this. We had an LL event happen, and we're continuing to see the trend of like kind of mid-rangey stuff doing well at the events, and it just doesn't seem to track with like our understanding of like how broken the format actually is. And I'm a little concerned that we're going to get to the World Championships, and from LSS's POV, they are like, look, these like mid-rangey decks are doing really well. The format's completely balanced. And then people that have like really been dedicating a lot of the time to the format and breaking it show up with the good stuff. And it's like, oh God, this is not what we thought the format was. We made a mistake. We should have banned cards. So I'm a little concerned
there was like
about that.
Calling or a real event that had LL in it before, but there's just none. So nobody is taking it serious. It's just like a PQ plus LL event alongside some Battle Hardened. It's like no one's going to that to actually play the game. Like Riptides are topping
also
that because
what incentive do you have to like, okay, I'm going to spend all my time brewing for this PQ LL event to win nothing and then blow my deck for Worlds when like clearly they don't care about actually like investigating this deeply and finding all the broken decks. Just save your broken deck for Worlds. Don't play it at a PQ plus. Like you played at a PQ plus, you lose in the finals and get second, and then you get 0 prizing, and then now you also get nothing at Worlds because you just like leaked your deck. I don't know. It seems foolish.
I think the meta is like mostly fine though. Like I do think the like issues are valid, but I think Starvo is kind of shaping up to fill that role of gatekeeping the way out of line decks. Hopefully the people continue to believe in Starvo and play him. But as long as he's present, I think the meta's okay. This is kind of like your whole take, I think, Fino, why he needed like to get his power back.
Yeah, I think
you need something to check people. So
I think
go ahead,
just
Fino.
Give him background and like the form is probably good. Like
yeah,
just that like little bump.
But why does Crown help you into the aggro decks? Like Crown was completely useless into aggro when I was playing it before. Because like aggro
it's nice into
like,
Rune
Art of War and
Blades.
stuff. No.
I figured that he would need that for digging to be able to sculpt the hands to be able to fuse and actually disrupt these decks.
I think it's for the Tunic. I think it's for the Tunic turns, personally. You get the extra card.
You're playing its aggro. The game is dead when you get to Tunic 1. Like, it's much better to play like a blocking chest, blocking hat, like so that way you can actually keep cards to when you want to play like the big fuse turns, like you have the life total. Whereas like Crown and Tunic is minus like 5 or 6 life of that total to like, let you keep those hands. I don't think that's like the actual card that if they brought back would allow him to be good into these aggro decks. It would just be more.
I think he already is now.
Cards.
I think he's doing the job already. I just don't know if he's like strong enough in total to be widely played. But I think he's totally checking the aggro decks.
Yeah, if he had more somersaults or more disruptive cards, those would be like the cards to bring back that would help him check those decks more. Not like Crown of
Okay.
Seeds in particular. That's for like other matchups. But yeah, I think he, like Dan said, he is doing a fine job. Like you still pitch your ice card to Winter's Whale. You still have good armor and stalagmite. So
I'd have to go back and actually look at how often that extra card is relevant, because quite often in LL, especially with like Starvo, you just need to get a fuse somewhere. I think having the ability to dig. I would have to look at digging with Crown versus digging with like the other Crown that lets you switch card, right? To see if that is making as big of a difference, or maybe balance is good there in certain matchups. But it's just like you just gotta find the crayons a little bit early, and then on like some of the bigger turns, you're trying to drag it out by actually putting like disruption on the board. And then if you're able to drag it out, which your disruption can, like your like lakes and stuff can actually drag it out, then you can use your your tunic to draw a whole extra card off of Crown essentially into your hand to block with. And this becomes like pretty relevant in those matches as finding small edges. So while I do agree with you, it's not the most massive thing in the aggro matches. These like small changes to the deck, I think they do matter in the shortened time span. I'd really have to sit down and map it out, how big of a difference it makes compared to Crown, because you have to think about like when you're playing against Starvo as like Zen or something, Starvo quite often can pull that game longer than you're expecting to be via like Blizzard or Lake or any of like, or even like a crush effect on the right turn. So it's not like blow up on 3. He can quite often make the game go to like 5, 6, 7, just by how the deck is built and like hypo, et cetera, et cetera. And so you do that, you get like 2 free cards off Crown. Okay, now we're talking about like an actual advantage that you're missing in those aggro decks.
It's completely trolling to say it's free cards. It's 1 damage. It's like if you just arsenal a real card, it's not actually a free card. Like you're allowed to arsenal Sink Below.
Yeah, but card in hand resolves for effect, so it's like better to take that card off of your tunic and put a new card in your hand. So
but then you're not tunicking to cast Starstruck and Crippling Crush.
Yeah, but you're comparing that to like arsenaling a real card, but you're often not arsenaling real cards in that deck.
But you just do now because you can play good cards in your deck. Before, like you abuse Crown and you play shit cards and then you arsenal them and clear them out. But now, like if you just play normal Flesh and Blood, like you arsenal good cards and then it's fine.
Yeah, but if you're setting a good card, the ability to take that card, like setting a card and then putting an extra card into your hand to try and actually find a fuse is worth more than whatever card you set in most cases.
And the card velocity matters for like you were saying, if you had a few more disruption effects, but if you have more card velocity, you're able to find the disruption that you do have in your deck more frequently.
Like I said, I do think it's minimal. It could possibly be really minimal. And I 100% would jump on the same bandwagon as like what you're saying about it not being relevant in those matches. But from all of my experience playing the deck, they just get like a couple of Crown activations that block the damage and like switches a card and it becomes relevant.
You're playing into like Chain and Briar and stuff. Like typically when you're playing into them, you're playing Arcane Heroes.
No, it was Zen last function.
Okay.
Zen last function. That was what was holding it back. We had an actual complaint that like no one was playing to beat Starvo, and and so like it was like making the meta be really weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. I would just, like I said, I think it's a lot of mini school testing to see if that actually makes the big difference. But I could see it actually be relevant over enough games. But who knows? It's
all I'm trying to say is I think you bring back Crown and it's not like the format is saved. I don't want to like put that out there in the ether as like a viable solution of like, okay, just bring back this one card. The other thing too is like if you bring back Crown, you still have CYB Florian, which abuses Crown way harder because that deck arsenal shit cards, and I don't really want that to be a deck.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. I think it definitely produces more harm than good.
My takeaway from all this is that I think the hypothermia unban was actually really good. It's easier to see as a chain and joy now that we got Dirge back, but I think hypo targets specifically the main 2 aggro decks I think we have in mind when we're saying these like out of line aggro decks, being Zen and Dio. So I think that was a good one.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Some more cards like that if we need to check them even more. So I'm kind of with
Noah. Cards with ice in the bottom line. Great cards. Give me all of those cards. I want to play a deck with 60 of those cards.
Preferably blue that you can play from Arsenal at instant speed.
Indeed, dude. You know the vibe.
I don't know. We'll see. There's other questions. I peeked some of the questions that are coming up, and there was some about LL, so we can jump back into that then as well. But I did want to talk about some spoiler cards, since we have spoilers that have been going on, and we have each found some cards we like. What?
I know I'm interrupting the flow. I have to ask. You know how we have people ask us questions, right? Are we allowed to pose a question to the audience?
Sure.
I asked this question in our own Discord of like how to get motivated to play LL. I feel like this is definitely a question that I could see someone submitting to us, so I'm submitting it to the audience of if you're someone who's an LL enjoyer, what makes you get motivated to play? Because I am severely lacking this. It feels like I'm just doing my homework playing it instead of like actually looking forward to the games. Maybe just because I enjoy this CC format a lot, or because the fact that LL, like, I'm not really someone with the, the rose tinted glasses looking back at the nostalgia to play my old chain deck and do my shackles and banish cards. I just like whatever. I'm like always used to just playing current format. I've never played like a legacy or nostalgia format before. So I'm curious what gets people a buzz.
You also have no favorite deck in LL.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have no like nostalgia factor for a deck. I just whatever.
Also the timing is kind of weird for the two of us. Where like we had the back-to-back AGE. So it's like we should probably be spending mental space on CC during those 2 weekends.
I just like preparing for a tournament. Like in my mind, right? Like you said, I'm preparing for AGE, and then this weekend I'm preparing for the event in Montreal. So like I'm trying to learn the new set, and then after that I'm going to be preparing for PQ season, which is all CC, because I still like want to do well there, right? And then I can prepare for Worlds as the next thing. So it's hard for me to get like excited about LL now when in reality I should probably be taking advantage of this like lead time that we have to prepare LL, because it's not like there's going to be new cards interjected into LL, right?
Fair. I don't know. I don't feel that way. I love playing Chain.
Yeah, you guys have nostalgia. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if
it's not even nostalgia. It's my favorite deck that I've ever played. Like, I love this.
This deck came out last year.
I love playing Chain. Yeah.
Okay.
that's not nostalgia, Noah.
Yeah.
You just don't understand.
No, that can't be nostalgia.
It's not an old deck.
I don't know. I wouldn't.
It's a new deck.
It's old. Like when I say Florian nostalgia, I played Florian like 6 months ago. That's nostalgia. Like playing something from any old time is nostalgia. I'm English.
Because we never really got to play the RuneGate chain deck. Like we played it for one calling where Cody prepped for 2 weeks and I prepped for 2 days. Like that's not playing.
Yeah, but
deck.
like I never got to play Needle Ira in real life, right? Because we never got to play it in Memphis. I'm not like, oh, I never got to play this deck. I'm so excited to do my Needle and then flick it and get it back and do my Needle.
Well, the difference is I've been looking for a new Chain deck since Chain went away.
Yeah,
and they just haven't provided. They haven't provided me with one yet, and then they just gave me back Chain.
This would have been a perfect Pheno Mike Chu moment to say nostalgia, but I'll refrain. We can move on. Now resist. You're powerful.
Okay. Let's actually talk about spoilers now that I was interrupted on my segue. So no segue. So just Noah, since you wanted to talk so badly, if you could just run us through one of your spoilers that you're super excited about.
The comment section scared away Lucas. Now I'm the whipping boy getting abused. One sec. I don't know the names of the cards.
Not even prep, not even ready. Doesn't have it pulled
cards,
up.
Dude. I'm trying to be good. And
interrupted me. Didn't take that time to pull up the cards to have them ready to go.
Yeah, I'm the worst. Whatever. It is what it is. Okay, here we go. The first card I wanted to talk about is the card that I've always wanted to play in KO, which is it doesn't have to be a non-attack, but some card that enables a large hand and can set up the top of your deck and is also a resource card. It basically does it all. It's the Song of Sinew. I didn't plan for that cadence to sound like a wrestling intro, but it worked out that way. So the Song of Sinew, reveal the top 4. Your next attack gets plus X, where X is the number of cards with 6 or more power revealed this way. Put them back in any order, go again. 0 cost yellow. So firstly, it's a yellow. That's fabulous. Most of the cards in the deck cost 2, so the failure state of, okay, I have this card, not even failure state, but just like the flexibility of Flesh and Blood, right? I can use it to pitch. It can always convert to 3 with my claw or pitch for an attack. It's one of the best arsenal targets because it can allow you to enable a wide turn. Yeah, like it lets you set up your top deck with cards like Beast Within and Sea Legs. Those are cards that have traditionally seen play in KO that are kind of just reliant on RNG to make happen, right? You have to hope you draw it in your hand with the Blood Rush to discard it. Hope you randomly, mill it off the top or discard it on a 50-50. Hope you have like a Rally the Rear Guard or something like that. Rally the Coast Guard, whatever the new one is. So yeah, I think having a little bit more determinism and resolving those effects, as well as just in general being a good rate card, right? Like this is sort of assassin level of power where you get to play yellow cards that perform above their pay grade as yellows. So yeah, I'm just huge fan of this card to start.
Are you concerned that this is a little too low impact for a like miss in your deck?
No, this is like Omega impact.
Yeah, I think it's like the highest of impact.
Yeah, the impact of this card, firstly, I don't know why they did this with this set. I mean, I'm all here for it, but traditionally in the past, I felt like they were pretty scared they being LSS, were scared to print cards that just buff generically your next attack. A lot of things would have to deal with class, or have to deal with weapon, or have to deal with some sort of other type of card restriction, like the cost of the card, stuff like that. The base power, like with Minnowism. So the fact that almost all the buffs in this set just buff attacks in general means this card has a very high ceiling when paired with Disruption. And like the inherent Brute class has now added some sort of like Disruption as well as like anti-disruption where you don't want to block it type thing. So yeah, I think like the fact this buffs any attack makes it super flexible. And I think Cast Bones has long struggled with the problem of it being a red that doesn't have Go Again. So it can be very awkward to sequence your turn when that card is in your hand to try to play your turn out without needing to excessively block, miss a turn of making a might with your hero power, or just in general, kind of like it forces your hand. Whereas this card is just flexible to be played at any point. Yeah, I could sing its praises for longer, but it's
Same here.
You can draw it with Blood Rush Bellow and still have your Blood Rush Bellow turn, and it doesn't require a resource. Like so many of these type of effects also used to require one resource, and you're like, I can't afford this on my Blood Rush turn. Like,
and it's just most of the time going to be above rate. Like that's insane. I don't get why this card reveals 4. Like it should just reveal 3 and you get +3. Like the fact that it's like you're also playing a yellow that's a 0 for 4. That's insane.
No, I'm with you. Even just like the Go Again in yellow is such a big deal. I know we've said it a couple times now, but it's so flexible and like, oh, it's so good. I'm so excited about this card. This card alone makes me like want to start playing KO now.
Yeah, it just fixes a lot of the problems with the deck of like needing to play these excessive amounts of no block, draw discard effects to try to just hope you can play out your hand.
Does seem like a great second cycle card too. Like my I'm drawing all these blues and they're kind of not that great anymore, but here's an extender.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially if you had been pitching yellows and you pitch it with like the Sea Legs or Beast Within, to be able to set up like a go wide turn at the end of the game. Yeah, I could see that being real. Does someone else want to go, or do I want to go to my next card?
Yeah. I can kind of go really quick. So I think what this card does great is it makes way for potentially a couple more red cards because it's effectively swapping for Cast Bones. And the set conveniently has a couple new Swing Big cards. They're not like the most flashy, and it's not too deep to talk about them, but Show of Strength, for example, seems like the better one, having the 3 block value. It's cost 2, attacks for 8, blocks 3, gets -1 for each card with 6 or more power defending it. So in a lot of matchups, this is just swing big with no downside. And if you played a lot of KO, you'll know there's usually like, what does it know? It's like 2 or 3 attacks usually where you're playing like a Clash of Might, or you're playing the one that intimidates.
Just some like vanilla, like 2 for 6 stat line attack. Yeah.
Pseudo vanilla. So like we already have room to add a couple 2 for 8s. We potentially have room for all of them. So the like floor on this deck goes way up. And then the ceiling also goes up because you more consistently get to do your Wild Ride into Claw into 8. So I'm pretty excited. Like that paired with the song card, I forget the full name. Getting to like stack the truly broken turns with the Sea Legs and everything. Like, I don't know. This KO's looking pretty good. Armed and Dangerous KO, that is.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
Agreed. 2 freight's good.
Yeah. Did you
Who'd
want to
have
talk about the other one too, or just show of strength? The other one with no block gets no love.
I don't have it pulled up. If you have it pulled up, we can talk about it. My other card was going to be Smashing Ground. Just another like free to put in the deck. We have CNC 10 through 12 now.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
That one's a little
It's already
bit
like
coked,
core plan.
but yeah.
Is
You think
that
so?
the blue one?
Yeah, it's a blue that the power has to be buffed. And then it destroys the arsenal on hit if the power is buffed.
Surely makes
Okay.
the cut though,
Yeah, at
no?
least-
Like over some of the other blues.
Yeah, it surely makes the cut, but
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah. No, it's just like a nice to have. But like in the matchups where it matters, like if a deck like Azalea comes back where you actually just want to cast CNC every turn, you can do that.
you're right.
Seems pretty
Oh.
trivial to turn it on because of the might tokens.
Yeah, it just the play pattern with that is like usually you want your first attack to be the go again or like the claw with the wind up or something
Mhm.
like that. But
And when you two card it,
You
you
don't
want it
see
to
the
be
vision.
attacking for 7.
You don't see
Get
the
that
vision.
break
You're just going to pair it with song.
yeah, I can pair it with the song. You're right. That's what I'm saying, dude.
Mhm.
Song is OP. Just buffing anything. Like surely that's
Yeah,
gonna
song
lead to
plus,
some busted
plus
in the
anything is just broken.
Yeah.
Fair. Noah, you want to talk about your other card?
Oh, I would love to, man. Thank you so much for letting me talk about it. This other card I feel like is getting way too little love for how ridiculous it is. It is No Hero Stands Alone. It's a revered attack action, which means it can be played in both Pleiades and Tough Nut. It's a yellow 3 for 6 that has 0 block, but it having 0 block is pretty fake because the effect is while it's in any zone, if you've controlled a toughness token, this gets +3 in ambush, which rules wise is kind of weird because while it's like face down in your arsenal, it's weird for the card to like have text of it having ambush because it's like face down. I don't know. Seems weird to me, but I guess there's no other way to say it. So at baseline, if you have a toughness token, it's a 3 block de-react style card, and that it can block from your arsenal, but also being good into Command and Conquer, obviously. But the real benefit is that when it defends, you may clash, and the winner of the clash chooses an attacking or defending card. I have no idea why you would do defending, but presumably you win the clash, and you would do choose the attacking card to get -3/-3 this chain link. So it's a bit of a gamble where it could be blocking for 0 if the opponent wins the clash. But I think if you're building your deck to have as many 6s as possible, this is effectively a 6 block that blocks from your arsenal.
I have a reason for why you would choose the -3 on a defending card. Phantasm.
What are you talking about?
I'll choose
Obviously,
this to
the
get
opponent would choose
-3.
-3, bro. I'm saying why you would choose it yourself.
I'm saying I'll make this -3 attack as a defending card.
I know. Obviously, the opponent would do that, yeah. I'm saying I can't think of a reason why you would choose to do that yourself. Like, you would obviously
Sure.
target their attacking card to give the -3, but
Sure.
maybe there's some world. Yeah, obviously, if your opponent wins the clash, they give you -3/-3. Your card is now a card that's not a popper and also doesn't block. So that's quite a big downside, but I think, yeah, the upside of this card is just, like, super high, and into some matchups, having a 6 block from Arsenal for one card, for a card that's just, like, on rate on offense, too, is, like, very, very good.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually, does that even work with Phantasm? Doesn't the trigger go on the stack?
Yeah,
I guess you can
Clash Trigger goes on the
modify it.
stack.
But you can
It's
modify
like
it with things like the minus attack things, all the instants, so that should work.
Yeah, exactly. And they're the turn player, so they just sequence it to where the clash happens first, you resolve, and then we see if Phantasm is still happening or not.
so my only issue with this is that it says revered at the bottom. Otherwise, I think this card's like actually pretty good. But the fact that like the 2 heroes that we currently have that are revered, I don't think can build a deck in a way that can actually take advantage of this clash.
Yeah, that's
Like-
where you'd be completely wrong, but it's okay for you to think that way.
I mean, sure, it's possible. I guess Tough Nut can only have cards that are able to clash profitably with this.
Yeah. Like most Tough Nut decks, I think, can have like 48 plus big attacks. Like you just play a bunch of big yellows and blues. And yeah, you just like use this to block. And Tough Nut is where it makes the most sense because you want to be controlling the toughness token. Otherwise, the card's kind of useless. And Tough Nut is making a toughness every single turn. So I view this more of a Tough Nut card than a Pleiades card at all. And also in Tough Nut, you really have the problem of like you draw these cards that are kind of just whatever, vanilla attacks, and this is like the best one to be arsenaling. So that's why I think it's like really good. It kind of fixes that problem of like usually in these like more defensive swing your weapon every turn decks, it's hard to have like good arsenal targets, and this is one of them.
I have just not seen anything impressive about that style of play with the Tough Nut deck, but I am open. I'm open to that being playable.
Good. This is why I wanted to highlight this card, because I think your opinion is the one shared by most. That style is trash. This card is trash. Put Tough Nut in the trash.
I think this card is good. I think what it has to go into is bad. Like,
so
I would like to play this in Victor or something. Like, if it didn't have,
that would be OP as hell, dude. Come on.
It'd be great. I think the card is good. I think what the deck it has to be played in is bad. So poor card.
Yeah, but that's like effects like that is how you make up for the downside of that. Hero, right? Like you're 2-for-1ing them.
Hopefully.
Well, maybe it's even more like you're 2-for-1ing them in like context of potentially they paid extra money to have like dominate or confidence or like all these new mechanics of evasion, and this just like dodges all the evasion too.
Sure. Okay, enough talking about revered stuff. We can. No. Fino, you can wait till last since yours is a two-parter. I want to cover. I'll cover an evil card, a nice reviled card. It's Leave Them Hanging. Most people, I think, have seen this card, but it is a red 3-cost. It has suspense. When it enters the battlefield, intimidate target hero. When this leaves the arena, your next attack this turn gets +4. It is an instant aura, and it blocks 3. It'll block 2 when you play it in the correct hero. This card is sick to just be able to on demand intimidate a card out of your opponent's hand. Even just from a couple of test games that we've played with this in Lyeth, it's just so dumb when your opponent's like, I'll block with 2 cards. And then they're like, I'm going to play something. And you're like, I would like to respond to that. Skip your whole turn. Like, the card is ridiculous. Quite often it is just skip your whole opponent's turn.
You thought playing around bag was hard? Ugh.
No,
it's good,
the card is really, really good. That's the thing. Like, really, really good.
You don't like this kind of effect existing, Fino?
No, I'm just saying, like, playing around bag is a skill that you have to develop. Like,
now you got to
now imagine. Yeah, now you have to play around. They could have bag at instant speed at any point during every turn. It's like, oh,
that's awesome, dude. I love it. No, I think this card is amazing. We got to get more cards like this. So there's one reason why I think this card's amazing, because, well, I mean, obviously there's many reasons, but the one key reason beyond the other hand trap-ish kind of cards we have in this game is that you can play this from your arsenal. Like, this one is actually like tactically sound in that you can assess your opponent's hand and the texture of the early part of the turn they've played, and then play this from your arsenal. Whereas the other cards like Ripple Away and whatever the other ones are called.
Fearless.
I'm blanking on them all. Oh yeah, Fearless Confrontation. Yeah, these kind of cards, you just have to luck sack them on the turn. There's also that one that they play in some Florian decks too now that says the opponent can't gain life and verdance. Those types of cards are just like trolling because you have to draw them on the right turn. Whereas this card, you can just bank it in Arsenal, wait to deploy it as well. You can stack multiple of them, and that's like relevant. So yeah, I think it's fabulous. I'm glad you had this out.
And it's not just like hurt your opponent. It's like hurt your opponent and then help me in a couple turns. So like, it's like super, it's almost worth it if it just had the text of like intimidate target hero for the amount of value I've seen it get on like skip your opponent's turn. Like, I think people don't realize how destructive that is. I have legitimately seen in testing with just some of the cards, someone's like, play a buff. They're like, intimidate your hand. Okay, I'll pass. And then their whole turn, it's just like the whole turn is skipped because you intimidated one of their cards out. Now they can't pay for anything. They literally can't play anything, use the buff. Or even it's just like token pops at the beginning of the turn. They're holding one card, intimidate your one card, skip your turn, lose your token that popped. Like, it's so funny. And like, that is incredibly powerful. And then I'm also going to get a +4 later. Is gross. This card makes me want to play Lyeth. That's what I'm saying. Like, yep. And it feels kind of skillful when you play it or like set it up. Like, if you have like a big turn and they're like, oh, I'm going to block you and play efficiently. And then you're like, aha, I had this set. You know, I was waiting for a turn to like really, I'm going to win all the cycles, all the turn cycles with this card. It's like, I don't know. It's pretty cool. even in the mirror when you're like, your opponents leave them hanging pops. Like they have 2 of them. They pop, respond to it, play my own, leave the hanging, take the card out of your hand, skip your turn. Like it's.
See, this is why my boy Tough Nut reigns supreme, dude. I don't need a hand. I'll play from the top of my deck.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I'm pretty skeptical of the strategic decisions of the opponents who are keeping 1 card against the deck that can intimidate at instant speed.
Well, what if they have 2 cards?
Yeah, wouldn't keeping 1 card be the correct thing that you're trying to do? Like, go ahead and intimidate me. I was just going to Arsenal.
No, if you have like 10 mites and you keep 1 card instead of 2 to have redundancy in Arsenal.
Okay, sure.
Like, I don't know what we're doing here.
But the normal
the card
course
seems great for the record. I'm just.
But the normal course of playing the
these.
game is like blocking with 1 card or blocking with 2 cards, and then like there are several decks that want to play a card, and then you respond to the card, and then you ruin their whole turn. Like,
yeah, it'll definitely line up, but there's counterplay that I think will develop to this,
All I'm hearing is no
which can be
block, send it.
beneficial.
yeah. All I'm hearing is I have this card, and if my opponent played around it this turn, I'm going to set it, and I'm going to ask them to play around it again the next turn, and then I'm going to ask them to play around it again next turn, and eventually I'm going to arc light them. Like it's just eventually I'm going to skip their whole turn, and the value you get from skipping your opponent's whole turn is just like outweighed by any like 3 turns of negative value you got by holding this card. Like that's how I feel about the card currently. And then I'm going to get +4 later. So like not only did I get all my value back by skipping my opponent's turn, I'm going to get a +4.
Are you concerned about getting aetherized?
No, not even a little bit.
Reasonable.
But it definitely is good in Decano, right? Surely you can find a window to do that on their pop-off turn, whereas Flush Drive is unusable.
There's probably a spot.
Yeah, like if you respond to the rags, surely it's insane, right? Like they have 1 card in hand, they do rags, you respond, and then they go to hell.
Yeah, it's like when you flip your chi as them. You wait until they go to 1 card or no card, and you're like,
wait, is this the first time Guardian's been playable in Decano?
Got him.
He's got 5 cards. Surely you can AV, dude.
I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped to play Goliath. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced the deck is good, but man, just from everything I've seen, I want to play it.
Little Bigfoot. That card has been so ignorant every time I've seen it played. You just attack for like 20. It's like it says 3, but then it somehow transforms into 20. I don't know how it happens.
If you're gonna mention a card, you should probably read the card.
It's from Master Park Guardian.
Little Bigfoot. It is a 4-cost, 3-power Guardian attack. If there are 2 or more cards with 3 or more pitch in your pitch zone, it gets +6 power.
That's the red, yeah. But it scales like non-fab, like where it scales to +5 power, +4 power, or 4, 5, whatever math order numbers.
The buff changes.
Yeah, the buff changes, not the value in the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
That card's open.
Cool. My next card here is not a reviled card, but the art says it should be. It is called Cutting Retort. I think this card is sick. It is red. Mm-hmm. It costs 0. When this attacks a hero, you may pay up to $3. Destroy that many aura tokens with different names that they control. If you do, this gets +1 for each aura token destroyed this way. And it blocks for 3, and it attacks for 4. It is generic. This card is sick.
Yeah, this card's crazy.
What is like a home for this card?
You mean deck-wise or like?
Yeah, like
against
deck-wise.
The deck?
Like I think the card's very good, but I struggle to see what deck like slots this in right now.
Well, I think it's more of like whatever's popular. Like if I need to increase my matchup against Fang or something, I'm gonna like put this in.
As what? Like you're gonna play this in gravy? You're gonna put like a red wounding blow in your gravy deck? Surely that's bad.
I mean, against
okay, so let's continue. You're playing
against Fang specifically. I don't think you can play this in any deck.
You can, I know, but I was like really trying to think like what deck am I playing it in? Because if you're using it for that use case, right? You have to.
I could see it in Slippy.
Right? In Slippy, yeah, it could be playable with Tunic, right? Like you pop one thing.
Yeah, you want decks that are
after Dagger
points, right?
But after Dagger, it's like bad, right? I'm doing 2 card like 6. Because the thing is, my opponent, you don't really want to do these kind of plays after a Dagger. I'm giving you the bonus Slippy knowledge. You don't want to do these kind of things after a Dagger because then you remove the mark. The whole point is like after you swing a Dagger, you want to do something like CNC or Leave No Witness because then they stay marked.
No, but you're Slippy. You get to Dagger into pump it twice. Because your Chelicera has go again.
Oh, you're saying if you do Chelicera? But what deck really has multiple different types of tokens?
Just beat up Fang. In every
but Fang only has Guilty. I guess they have a Vigor sometimes.
Oh, it's different. True.
Oh, yeah, dude, so come on. If this blow up 3 Fealty, what do we do?
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Yeah, it has to be a different names.
Yeah, the only
That's
ones
gonna
that
be
I could really think of
Yeah, they
that
do
it
have
hits
vigor, though.
like multiple. The only ones that I could think of that hit multiple different were like the heavy hitters style heroes, where it's like I'm making
Yeah.
2 different tokens.
Mhm.
I couldn't really think of anything else other than that.
I was playing
Yeah,
Nasty Surprise and Ira. You could
Yeah,
take
you
those
could maybe
tokens
play
away.
this card in Ira too. I could see that. But
Yeah,
then
this
you
is
maybe
not
get clogged on too many non-go agains.
this is not as flashy as like a lot of the other cards. The reason I like this is one, all the stat lines are good. So like they did that, but they gave us like it's like a silver bullet that you don't have to jump through hoops for, but I also don't think just like breaks the whole game. But it's just like there's decks that have tokens. I need a way to get around some of these tokens, or they're giving like, and you just have a card that just does the thing. It just does exactly what you want it to do, yeah, depending on like what you're trying to face in the meta. I like the design of this type of like silver bullet, I guess.
Yeah, I think this card is it's going to end up being like a fearless or nasty surprise type card where it's like
Yeah.
only finds a home in very niche decks. But yeah, it's definitely good.
I like it that it exists in the game. I'm not clamoring to put it in every deck that I own, but I like that this type of card exists in the game.
Yeah. Okay, it's Fina's time.
Okay, we gotta get a Truth or Trickery. It is a Reviled Guardian block card. It's a yellow block 3. I can't see the text of the card. When this defends, you can look at the top card of your deck and choose a color. If you do, the attacking hero guesses if the card is the chosen color. Then they look at it. If they guessed wrong, they discard a card. So functionally, it's like a, am I telling the truth about the color of the top of my deck kind of card. My first thing was just kind of goofy. I was asking some judges, what constitutes within the rules of the game looking? Am I allowed to play this card and just not look at the top of my deck and choose a color? Can I go, huh, and just like, how much prolonged eye contact must I make with a card to constitute looking? Does it need to be sensual, extended? Does it need to look back at me? Because I think that's like one of the fun ways to play it too. Just like I'm just not even gonna look at the top. I'm just gonna name a color. You can't read me. There's like levels to that too. That's pretty fun. The other thing is,
Wait, what was the response?
to be determined.
No.
They were saying
we need to
that they think that you need to like actually look at the card, but they probably need to look into that some more because like it hasn't
Judge, my
mattered.
opponent didn't look at the card enough. Please have my opponent look at the card some more. They barely looked at it. They just glanced at it. That's not a look.
Yeah,
Man,
we have precedent for this. I told Connor in our game at AGE, hey, no, you looked at the card off deal. I need you to look at it again. Surely you can look at it if it's actually part of the resolving card effect.
I kept wanting to look at the top of his deck with him. I don't know. He does it so much. I was just like, I just want to grab it and be like, what is
He
it?
practically lays his hand face up on the table when he plays against you. So you see
Yeah,
a lot
what's
of
the difference?
hidden information anyway.
So the second point was, I think it's I understand a little bit why they went this direction, because it's supposed to be the like making up for the downside of the hero power of like this being a 2-block where this goes above rate. It's kind of like a tough nut thing. This is how you make up for the downside of the hero power. I think it's like, I just don't like that this card is asymmetrical. It feels like it should be like a risk reward type of thing with how it's designed. Like if you guess correct, there is no upside. I would have loved to see like, yeah, if they guess correct, they draw a card or something like that, where it's so heavily weighted to the downside of this. Like you're more likely to get it wrong than get it right. And if you get it right, you get nothing for it.
So the thing is, it has a huge downside that's not in the text box. The downside is that it's a block card, it's a yellow, and it blocks 2 in that hero. And there's no way of making it 3 because it's a block card, so it doesn't work with the hero power. I mean, if you turn off the hero power, of course it works, but it doesn't work with the 2-cost part of Lyeth's hero power.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the downside is just inherently baked into the card of it being like extremely inflexible.
It's also a reviled card. It's like it's not supposed to be fair. It sounds like Fana wants it to be fair, but like that's not what reviled's all about.
And I will say,
It's supposed to be grumpy when they play these cards.
That's true. I'm gonna mauled every time this happens.
It's like reprint new and call it reviled.
Why are you going to
Reviled,
vault? You're
it's
just going to
fine.
guess right every time. It's that easy.
That's true.
Like I don't
You
care
know
about
me.
this card at all. Like I'm 98% success, surely.
But I will say, tying into the previous card, this is a good way to circumvent the downside of the hero power by doing asymmetrical effects like this, where, you know, a card out of their hand is not worth the same as a card out of my hand because I have access to so many more. Intimidate is worth significantly more when I have access to 5 cards. So like these asymmetrical effects, I think, are a good direction to take the design of the hero or deck building of the hero.
Do you think, as a competitive player, you're actually slamming 3 of this card in your deck?
No, it says
maybe
Guardian.
not.
Yeah, I'm saying if you're a competitive player who's so inclined to be playing Lyeth, you're like, all right, I'm Lyeth guy. You think like any number of this card actually makes the final cut?
I could see it.
I think it's possible.
It's not
But
too
it-
different from the new stealth attack, right?
That's what I was thinking, and y'all were shitting on that card.
Wait, were they? That card's
I look at-
insane.
I look at this and I'm thinking much closer to Test of Strength. Is that the name of the card? The block card from Mastery Pack that discards a card?
No, that's Test of
Iron Grip.
Test
Iron
of
Grip? Okay. Test of Strength is definitely the name of a card, right?
Is that Bubble?
Yeah. Test of Strength is the original block card that gives
Is
you a
that
gold.
Sync Below, dude? I don't know. I might be missing.
But yeah, it's like, it's more of the face perg, but from hand type of effect. Like, I think that you do have space to play that against decks that are always giving you block value or value on defense, kind of like what Yuanji's deck was doing, where it's like, I know that I'm getting attacked by things like Slippy. I'm always going to be getting value on defense, so I'm just going to play these cards, and sometimes I juice them and gank them out of extra cards.
But the thing is, this being a 2-block into something like Slippy, right? Let's stay on that as an example. You're also giving them the on hit, or you're giving 2 cards on 3.
Or you're shielding.
Yeah, but that's still giving them 2 cards.
Sure. I think it's possible you would play this in like certain matches. If you find some matches that are like difficult for the deck, like an aggro match or something, and you're just like, I need this to hit at some percentage of the time to win the matchup more consistently. I could see it going. I don't know. It might just be fine. This might be good enough. You have 5 cards. I'll gamble on this one card sometimes being like just ruining again their turn.
Yeah,
I'm just
well,
the ruin their turn deck.
I'm definitely slamming 3 in my deck. I just wanted to like be not biased when I was asking y'all.
I don't
This is
know.
like easy slam.
I'm concerned about the reliability. Like, this effect on block versus attack is the big deal. Like, if this attacked for 2, on hit do this effect, your opponent like has the chance to like give you the effect anyway by like blocking or like over blocking.
So
Or,
what I
like-
think makes this card good is the fact that Reviled has access to a kit of lots of Intimidate, which means the opponent kind of has no choice but to attack you on their turn if you strand them with cards, or else they're just like passing. Like, sure, they could just pass. Maybe we see like some sort of setup come out, but if my opponent has 2 or 3 cards because I intimidated them, like they kind of have to attack and let me block. Or I dominated because I'm playing like Thump or something like that, where like they were stranded with cards, this kind of thing.
I can see that.
I don't-
And I guess you don't want to be clashing in with the little guy.
Well, the clash still works, but you probably are playing a lot of non-attacks in your deck.
No, I'm saying you
Or
can play
little
like Test of
things.
Iron Grip. Like, you can just play the better version.
But it's
If
not better
clashing
because
was,
you're
like,
going
the
to be playing
thing.
a lot of non-attacks in your deck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
Yeah, he's same page.
I was just making sure it was clear that the base power halving doesn't work on your deck. Like, that's not the problem. The problem is that you play non-attacks. The base power halving is only the cards you control.
But aren't you playing like little Bigfoots? So you have like A bunch
Agree.
of
Yeah,
threes
It's
yeah.
We're arriving at the same conclusion.
agreed.
This is a very useful conversation.
I'm suspect on it, but it's the range is huge on this. It could be like unplayable because it's too unreliable and you have like better cards, or it's like the nuts.
It will at least start in the deck, and then where it finishes in the deck, we'll find out.
If
Dude,
you
I
have
don't know
better
that I'm ever
cards,
gonna-
if you have
Go
better
ahead.
cards because the deck is nuts, I'm a little concerned.
Yeah. Fair. I gotta retrain my like neural pathways when I look at these cards that they don't actually say 3. It's very hard to like
Yeah.
look at these cards and understand the actual value of them. It's kind of a mind meld, like, you know, melting your mind situation. Or maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. Both can be true.
I don't know. Depends how lithe pilled you are. I look at every card and go, blocks for 2, blocks for 1. That's all I'm thinking about. But I haven't thought about the other heroes yet at all
Okay.
in this set.
I haven't thought about any of them.
Oh,
You guys are doing great.
Okay.
Well, anything else? Any other spoiler cards before we move off this section?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've really fleshed out, just like talking in general about cards, they've really fleshed out. I was joking with one of our locals, Josh, that like the new KO, that's like the only one we haven't really talked about yet, is he's just a complete shrimp deck. Like he's playing all these cards that attack for like 1 or 2. And the idea being, okay, you like use your hero power to buff them up. But what happens when you get into situations where you have to block and like you can't keep 3 cards to buff up your guy? You're just like, you're playing new basically without mask or chi or just a nick. It's just like, I don't know. It's very strange. This like dynamic of your cards are completely unplayably bad, but also if you resolve the effects, then they're just like stupidly broken.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's got high potential. We need more like booing effects, right?
Like booing effects, or just in general, like the cards require setup. Like you have to have 3 auras, you have to have more life. I was talking with Shane, like having more life is so hard in Flesh and Blood because like your opponent attacks you for damage. You have to take the damage and still be at more life to cast your card, which is very hard to do in Flesh and Blood. Like typically cards with less life are better because it's easy to have less life. You just took 12. Now you're like 5 or 6 lower than them. Then you attack them back with your Scar for a Scar, compared to a card that like only works if you're at more life, which means you had to be winning by 15 before the turn started. Seems unlikely. So not sure about a lot of the cards in the reviled pool so far.
I am suspicious of RKO because this deck makes no sense to me value-wise yet. I am holding out that there are some pieces that we're missing that make it make more sense, but I am very suspicious of this hero.
Well, the value is like you just get to do like the Mystic thing. Like all your cards are bonds where they attack for 1, but in reality they attack for 4 as long as you do some trick, and then you get to cheese them with your hero power.
Yep. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah. It's bonds, but
I'm very suspicious.
They haven't printed all the reactions on the equipment to where it's obvious. So
Yes.
Isn't it double trouble blue, not bonds?
a lot of the cards I see get +3.
Sure.
just
But
going
you're
off
not
of
like
that.
looking at their hand and discarding a card, right?
Yeah, I was just saying it goes from
Levels
1
of
to
power.
4. That's all I was
That's
going
fair.
off of.
Yep. We will see. I need more cards. And I think we might get some. Okay. That's enough on spoilers. Let's we have other things to talk about. Let's talk about the fact that people have decided that it is Florian meta. Florian is back with a vengeance. Not only is it back, he's just like topping every tournament. He has like a 61% win rate across the 3 events that happened this weekend. For some reason, he's played against like no gravies either, because they're all gone. Gravies are gone. That deck is terrible. All of this has been decided by the public this past
It's
week.
so funny. Because like everyone
a
stopped playing
theory.
Gravy, like you said. And then everyone started playing Florian. It's like decided this is what we do now.
I have a theory. I have a theory that there's a lot of overlap between the people that were playing Gravy and the people that were playing Florian. And when Gravy got the nerfs, people just went, well, I don't know how to figure out this deck. I'm going to let other people figure that out. And maybe no one does figure it out. I'm just going to go play Florian because I know how this works. I don't need to do anything. Deck is simple. I'm just going to send it with a thing that's obvious.
I mean, I do think some of your points are right. Like, I think Florian's doing really well because the deck is very simple to play, for the most part. And then it puts out a power level higher than I think the amount of skill you have to do to pilot the deck, which is nice. Like, it's good to have decks like this in the game. Like, they should exist. And it just like rewards you for just like playing the game on a basic level. And so like, it's pretty easy to just like, if the Florian deck works, it just works really well in the meta, and it's like, it's going to have good results. So I think we're seeing that. Florian can be hard to play against because you have to play hyper like efficient in order to like really take advantage of Florian's weaknesses. And if you haven't played against Florian in a while, I could see that being an issue. It does have some tools that it didn't have before. And then if you look at the whole weekend, the entire weekend, there were only 7 games that existed where a Florian played a Gravy. across all 3 Battle Hardens. There was only 7 games, and it went 4-3 somehow in those matches. So it had 3 wins, 4 losses, but yeah. So it just like never got punished. And then a lot of the decks are like are softer to Florian than they think they are. Like Acilio is like a good example. Like Acilio had like a pretty poor matchup across the board into Florian this whole weekend, which you would not expect to happen, but you can just get fatigued if you're not careful and you're not used to playing the matchup, or if they get like echoes out on like a good turn. So I think a lot of things happened this weekend that caused this to happen, but the player base is decided. Florian is the deck. It is one of the best tournament decks that have ever existed. It had like a 61% win rate as a group across 3 tournaments, like through a bunch of things in top 8. I'm just curious. I want to ask, like, do you think this is going to stay around? Is Florian like the new deck to kill? Like, is this good for the meta?
Yeah, this is bad for me. If Florian is top of meta, like that's fine. Whatever. The matchup for Mario is hard, but it's pretty okay. But the counter to Florian is Gravy Bones, which is incredibly frustrating to play. So if that's what the meta shapes up to be, I'm not thrilled. And then kind of the third deck I would expect to come in is like Syndra comes back because it counters both of those. So yeah, not great for me if it stays this way. But I guess if that happens, I'm playing Gravy or Florian. So it is what it is.
Do you think that Gravy adoption will increase? Because Gravy should have been the most played deck by far last format because it was obviously the best deck, but people still play other stuff. And so do you think people will adjust to play Gravy now to counter Florian or no?
I don't think we're going to see a higher Gravy play rate than we've seen previously. Like, no, it's just, I think we're done with that world.
Because also you got to remember the deck is really hard. So like, should people adopt the deck? Yeah. But then if they pick it up and then they just aren't winning enough games, like with their own testing for it to be reasonable to bring to an event, clearly it's not the right deck for them. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. We see that in the data. We're going to be talking about the data on stream later, but
wait. If you've noticed this episode, I'm giving readers by readers I mean listeners. Surely I can speak words on this podcast. There's been a few cuts. You may wonder why. It's because Fino has sabotaged the stream every time by cutting the black screen, so that way he can reset all of our momentum and talk about his own endeavors. Okay, proceed.
Anyways, wow. Like the deck's really hard to play, and I don't think it's as obviously broken as it was before. It's still very, very powerful, but it's like the hoops they have to jump through to access that power are now higher than they were before, which is going to be even more off-putting to people to play. Will top players play the deck? Probably still, but we're talking about the overall play rate of the deck, not just people at the top.
I think its actual big punish is Gravy needs to know what the meta looks like, because like if the meta is just like Acilio, Fang, Syndra, Dio, if that's the meta, it's really kind of dumb to bring Gravy to the tournament. Like if a majority of your matches are going to be those 4 heroes, because while you can win those matches still, you are unfavored into all 4 of those matches. And if that's a majority of the tournament, you're just like, what am I doing with my life? Like, why am I doing, like before, I actually think you could have been semi-favored into some of those, depending on how your deck was built, or if you went fast enough. It was at least reasonable or like flippy. You are now just behind in those matches where it's probably still functional, but it's just like, that's when it feels bad to bring the deck, is when, if that is all of the top matches. And we saw Acilio was like the most played deck over the whole weekend. So I think it depends if it adjusts on how many more Gravies come out. There will be Gravies that play, and that's just like not how their tournament goes, and that'll be fine. And if we see those play rates of those heroes drop a little bit because Florian comes out and starts punishing them all, because Florian just like dumpsters half of those heroes. Syndra match can be a little hard, and the Acilio match, they need to readjust in order to figure out how to beat the matchup again. But like, he can come out and just bully those, and then people slide off of those decks in high numbers, and then Gravy's like poised to come back and be the best deck in the game again. So we have like a circular meta, I think, kind of occurring depending on just what happens moving forward, right?
Some of the changes that you do need to make to Gravy to compensate for the bans, though, I think might actually improve your aggro matchup a little bit compared to before. Maybe I need more testing with this, but like you're adding chunkier attacks to your deck now, more efficient attacks, more access to playing small hands. So you might actually pick up some equity in those matchups where like you don't have to sit here playing yellow tipples. Like you're not actually excited playing a yellow tipple. It turns on your engine, you have to do it. But what you're doing now is slightly more inconsistent, but actually just more raw value. It's just more like you playing a 2 for 6 with Go Again is just better.
I think the
would have to look at
power
the math between. I was going to say, you have to look at the math between when you resolve that 2 for 6 and the effect actually happens now versus when you could resolve the tipple. So it takes like a lot more games to figure out like, maybe I can win this game when I play this 2 for 6 and I flip off the top. I win this game most of the time from that because I'm way more powerful. But how many of these times do I have the 2 for 6 and not a combo card, not a card to go with it to even resolve the card? Or how many times do I have to do it from hand? And then now what is my win percentage when these things happen? And we just don't know that information yet. So it could turn out that you're 100% right. And most of the time, if you resolve this from your hand or the top of your deck, you're in a good spot. Or it could just be like, it's only good when it's off the top of the deck. That's when you're actually in a good spot. In all of these other scenarios, you're behind. And so like
needs more testing.
Yeah, it needs more testing. I agree. And I think that'll determine a lot of what ends up happening in the meta. But I think it's interesting, you know.
Dan.
Hello. I think the power reduction in Gravy and the Assassins was like just enough. That's like they're not clearly the absolute thing you should be doing at any given tournament. That now like it is kind of just like up to the people. Like if we say it's a Florian meta, it's a Florian meta, and I guess we'll adjust. Very curious how this plays out in a couple months at the World Championship, but at least for like Battle Hardens and Callings, I think it's fully dictated by the players attending those events.
Yeah.
So it always is just like there's no clear best deck right now, I think.
Yeah, it'll be kind of like a regional meta. And there's not really more events, I don't think. I haven't looked. I should probably look before just saying this with no context, but I'm pretty sure there's no more real events until we have the new stuff coming out. Does anyone know if that's true?
It seems accurate.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Looks like Super Slam pre-release and then Calling Shizuoka is the weekend of new set being legal. So probably won't see too many. I mean, maybe the heroes are just that busted that we'll see good results on the opening weekend, but yeah, it looks like there's 3 callings before Worlds. So we'll get a little bit of data on how the meta shapes up and if the new heroes have an impact. But yeah, the way I see it is it's kind of that circular reference of going around and the like gravy Florian aggro soup assassin kind of thing.
Yep. I think it's interesting how the meta feels soft enough, or I guess volatile enough, that just one like a good card in the next set could tip the meta in a bunch of different directions.
Yeah.
I think it's
depending
gonna
on
be heavy hitters meta.
how much win rate it ups. So we still need to see all of the new cards that are coming out to see. Like I think the Kasai card is nutty.
Yep.
We'll see if that's enough for it to get over, but it is. That card, in my opinion, makes the Gravy matchup way better. Just that card existing for Kasai into Gravy is like, I would be fine with playing Kasai into a Gravy field.
I think it's a Kasai KO format coming up.
Oh,
Is that good?
You weren't kidding about heavy hitters.
Is it good? Yeah. I think it's good.
Yeah.
You think it's good? Okay. I don't know. People
That's a good
People
meta.
have very mixed emotions about that time, and I guess it's kind of what's the word? Do I need?
Oh, but it's
need
less
to
numbers
speak
now.
some
It's
speak
more
of the
like Bomby, right?
foreshadowing. There we go. It's like foreshadowing of what I was saying earlier about the nostalgia factor coming back. Of like now it's KO and Kasai. People like became specialists on those decks back in the day. Let's see if that ends up coming back to pay dividends now.
You asked earlier if you think Florian being like the best decker or something like that was good for the meta. I gotta say probably. Like surely Florian being one of the top decks has to be an indication of a healthy meta, right? Like the deck's not broken, it's not doing anything crazy, especially like this version of Florian, not the stack Florian that we saw before. Like that's either the meta's pretty fair or everything is so weak that maybe we just need stronger cards to exist in the game. But we have enough strong decks that exist in the game, that I don't think that's the case. Like, Syndra's pretty good. Gravy's really good. Slippy's still really good. Like, we have a lot of powerful decks that exist in the game right now that can do strong things. So it's not like everyone just throwing wet noodles around. So I guess I'll play an Earth Hero because that's just better than anything else.
So you've mentioned a few things, and I really appreciate your word choice of talking about strong. If you'll notice, the deck that won in Munich was playing Strength of the Four Seasons, a very strong card. This list actually is extremely reminiscent of the list that I had posted on Metafy like a few months ago from doing well in that like ProQuest season, just kind of updated to combat Aselio being more represented. So it was pretty cool to see that concept do well at a tournament. I appreciate the segue, Fino.
I don't know what Cody's going to be plugging this cast.
With everything. With that said, Florian is a very strong deck that can be oppressive if decks just like can't get over the threshold. Especially when I think it's built with like CMH, has like CMH turns in it. Obviously the Noah list that became incredibly popular and was played almost everywhere, and then we had a ton of results with. I think is an extremely strong version of the deck that is still relevant today. So to say that like it's an indication of a healthy meta is unknown. It's just how dominant is the deck really is I'm not sure. But if this type of weekend occurs again, then I have a worry. There's like no world where we should have like a 61% win rate deck across the 3 tournaments. Like that would be like incredibly unusual for this game, right?
That's true.
It's pretty dangerous. I think that people also just want to play Florian. Like, I want to play Florian. If I could play that at Worlds, that'd be so sick. Like, it's so easy to play. It's powerful. The game plan's like straightforward. It's the same for most matchups.
The deck tells you how to play it. It's like really enjoyable.
Block. Decompose.
I need a pivot turn. Oh, felling. Okay, there's my pivot turn. Like, it has all of the things in the deck, and you're like, oh, the game's going late. I need germinate stack. Oh, I germinate the germinate. Yeah, great. Now I can get over any defenses. It just has all these answers.
We have like the two polar extremes of this, of Florian and Gravy, of difficulty of playing the game.
Yep.
The thing is, if you're also then good at playing Florian, you just like get so much mileage out of it as well. So it's not like, you can just pick up the deck and do well. But if you're also like really good at the deck as well on top of it, it's pretty nice. It's just a nice place to be. You feel comfy playing the deck, and I think that's why people bring it.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else before we go to podcast questions? Nope. Okay. Let's jump over to our podcast questions. These are asked by members of our premium Metafy. If you'd like to be able to ask questions on the podcast, as well as get 3 free deck lists every month with sideboards, and get a discount from our sponsor, Gilded Raven Games. Feel free to join in the link below. While you're there, we also have the Fang Guide, which has been incredibly popular, that came out last week. We also have Dan's Mario Guide that has just gone up, ready to go, with its updated for the bans. And the Fang Guide is also going to get updated again after all of the cards get spoiled for the next meta, which is pretty cool. And then, look, the Florian Guide is also super relevant because it actually just won a tournament. So there's like 3 premium guides on there that you could pick up. Cool. That can also be found in the link below.
From the rantaways to the plugaways, dude.
The plugaways.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same joke. Damn it.
Well, there'll be more opportunities, Vito. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into some questions. First one here from Wardo77 is, with what has been spoiled to date, rank the 4 Super Slam heroes in terms of power level going into the sealed this weekend. Thanks.
Oh, into sealed.
Is Tough Nut playable?
No.
I cannot conceptualize how he would be.
Tough Nut is completely unplayable unless they were just lying about weapons and they're secretly weapons.
Okay. Cool. Like, I just can't even imagine how you possibly.
Here's my. So I'll try to do this as best I can for people who listen on audio. So imagine the Grand Canyon. At the bottom, this is where Tough Nut lives. It's thematic. Then you have a bird soaring in the middle of the Grand Canyon. That is Pleiades. I just think like the revered cards are decent. Like she can be carried by revered cards. She's kind of like she can go up and down, I think, based on the quality of the her specific card pool. Then I think Liath is in a cave in the side wall of the Grand Canyon. I also have no idea what he's doing. He's kind of just doing his own thing. It doesn't make sense to me how he actually like wins the game outside of a big Intimidate stack, but maybe he does that. And then standing at the top of the Grand Canyon, looking down over the rest, is RKO. I think his is like the most clearly defined game plan of I have we had this same thing in the last set of the bow hammerhead, where you pay 4 resources, deal 4 damage. I think that's kind of on average what you're doing with your hero power as KO. So yeah, he seems like the easiest one to just kind of extract the most deck value. The Pleiades and Liath are kind of, somewhere in the middle, and then Tough Nut down in the valley.
Yep.
Yeah, like
that's where I'm at too.
In limited, one of the strong things that you can be doing is trying to find evasive damage, and that card pool of the Reviled, they have that in Intimidate. So like that's like a good place to start for looking to close games. And also like KO just like creating more deck damage, like you said, with the hero power, it does seem pretty strong.
That's exactly how I feel as well. We will see if that changes at all with cards that come out, which is possible depending on common, rare slot cards. If there are some powerful ones for certain classes, it could make a big difference. But I agree.
I will say my initial call out, like before we even have all the cards of like limited all-star, is Dig In. The revered card that says when it defends, you can pay up to 3, make that many toughness. In terms of like a deck damage kind of thing, that's like an extremely strong ability. Just producing effectively like 3 more health without spending a card is pretty good. Okay, we can continue.
Herodis Omnia asks, which do you think will be the best CC and LL heroes for the world's meta without considering possible new bans?
So easy.
I think, yeah, it's the ones we've mentioned, right? There's
it's clearly Arachne Marionette.
Oh yeah, only Arachne Marionette. Actually, you're right. We can centralize it down to one hero.
Oh, I thought they wanted one hero for each format.
No.
It's heroes with S.
Oh, I thought they wanted the cheat codes. I understand now.
Okay, yeah.
If you might have, but
wait, it has to be Mario, right? Dan has done extraordinarily well every time his cards have been taken away from him.
Oh, I don't feel that way. The last time was my worst CC performance I ever had.
They take away your bonds. You top 16 PT.
Yeah, but I go 4-4 in CC. That's junk.
Okay, we didn't have to bring up facts and like logic and stuff.
You got to go with the vibe, man.
Bonds is whatever though. That's not like.
I agree. All bonds are whatever.
It's also not the week before. Yet.
Not. For an actual answer, it's like Gravy, Florian, Acilio, any of the other cards, any of the other decks that, topped. It's basically going to be like 7 cards. All the aggro soup decks come after that, basically. And then that's probably a good start. And then LL is just going to be, again, all the aggro soup decks, Briar, Zen, Dio. You're going to have Chain in there. You're going to have Starvo in there. And then you're going to have Ira in there. Yeah. That's like, there you go.
You'll have all the illusionists look completely unplayable, and still one will somehow manage to top.
True.
Oh yeah, there will definitely be a Dromai or a Prism in there, no doubt.
Well, you don't have to win all your LL games. You could just win all your CC games.
I will say, I think Prism V2 does look promising.
Don't know, but I will trust. Theirlove FX asks, does Cody not realize that the pro in Pro Tour stands for promotional, not professional? Bans a week before Worlds aren't great for the 400 odd competitors, but they're amazing for 4,000-ish viewers at home who are more important part of that equation. Well, I would say this is for Worlds and not a Pro Tour. So I think the first part of that sentence is not accurate. And the second part I would say is I don't think that the people who are sitting at home watching Worlds are going to be more intrigued to watch the tournament because bans happened a week before than they would be if bans did not happen a week before. I think the amount of needle that moves for the people who are at home, not at the tournament, watching the games on display, I think it has almost no bearing. But what it does have is a lot of sentiment bearing to the people who are actually spending the time to travel, that are being watched on TV and putting all of the time in and making all the content around the game. I think it's a big feels bad when you invalidate a lot of prep or time or effort that they put in.
It's not like the Magic Pro Tour back in like the 2000s, the early 2000s, where people, like, everyone's watching it, trying to figure out what deck they got to build for FNM next week. Like,
yeah,
we have moved so far past that being how people actually engage with content and how information travels nowadays.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know if I follow. I feel like that is what happens. Like after the Bonds ban, I watched like every piece of Mario content that got uploaded to YouTube.
But you are not the average person.
Oh
No, but that's definitely what people do. Is like
yeah,
people
for
are
sure.
scrambling. But I think for
They don't do it in this game though.
I think for large tournaments, the difference is I agree more with Dan that like I scramble for new content the second any change happens to a ban list. But I think for like a World or Pro Tour thing, if they want to frame it in a promotional light, it's more about like telling the narrative of what decks are good. And if it's a week before the tournament, it's really hard to formulate a narrative of what's going to be good. You can have one narrative of, oh, this deck got a card unlimited or this deck got a card limited. But instead, you could also just talk about like, here's the decks that top teams have been like brewing for a while. Are they keeping with those teams or have they kept their tech hidden? There's still a lot of other narratives you can draw. And I think if the players are enjoying themselves, that makes for one of the best viewing experiences because it's like, it's clear that everyone's like really invested in the moment and it like builds more hype than if people are molding. I mean, I guess maybe molding attracts viewers, but I think in general, if the people there are having a good time, usually people at home are having a good time. But maybe I'm just a dreamer.
Yeah, seems unnecessary and does not seem, in my mind, to move the needle in any positive direction. Other than
move the needle forward for 2 damage.
Other than designers just really love doing it. They just love it. I gotta become a designer so that I can understand how much to love it, because they just do. Okay, Big Hungry asks, I just recently joined a new card game that feels like it is in its infancy in regards to information being widely available, and it has me thinking back to when people could hide decks and strats in the early days of FAB. With that said, do you ever wish you could go back to those days where a surprise deck could break out and win a major event, when teams would have a very secret anti-meta deck calls?
Yes, instead, I just go play a different game. That's what we did with Battle Spirits.
Yeah, I think all of us have like tried other games to try to like relive this high of like, ooh, I could be the first one to break the game at the big tournament. I think anybody who's been playing card games for a long time, that's something that they think about is like, it's rare that the opportunities present themselves, so they seize upon them when you can. And being able to do that in a game system as good as Flesh and Blood would definitely be cool to do.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun being able to do that. Now it just doesn't work, but the game is better for it not existing that way, and just like small groups of people playing on TTS together, and that's like the entire meta being decided from that is, and nothing else, it matters, is like, I don't know, pretty unfair to anyone else who ever tries to play the game. It was very beneficial for myself, but not as beneficial for the community.
I guess there's a correlative relationship to how much you play on TTS and how well you're probably going to do it at that event, huh?
Yeah, that was basically what mattered. I mean, there were still breakout stuff. Like, you think of like Hamilton with Oldhim at the calling at Nationals that he took down. People weren't playing Oldhim that way at the time. It was like not a known way to really play the deck, where you pitch stacked the Oakenolds at the end, but that was just like infancy of the game type of thing. So there was that from there. I mean, we had Icelander, but as far as like the most recent like breakout unknown deck. It's been a while since something was completely unknown.
Yeah.
I mean, we might eventually. And then maybe that's why they want to nerf things. They want to create that thing again, but it's just like, I don't think that's necessarily the fun part of a card game or the needed part. There's like, you still get a lot of skill expression in being able to iron out the 10%. Like, you're just like, you figure out 10% more than your opponent. It feels very much the same way. Like,
I mean, discovery
people
is
think
fun.
the matchup works this way. Yeah.
I think discovery and asymmetrical information can be fun. It's just how you implement it, I think, is the important part.
Yeah. That was the only reason I stayed playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For so long, is you could have a breakout deck in literally every single tournament if you wanted to. So.
Rinzo asks, haven't asked any questions in the last few weeks. Did you miss them? Now for the real question, any recommendations for food in Philly?
Oh, that's an easy one.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, you just go to Reading Market. It's right across the street from the venue. And you have like, I don't know, how many dining options are in there? Like 50, 60?
Yeah.
You probably will do that for every meal.
Is that big building with like multiple floors of all the food and everything?
Yeah, I think it's one floor. It's quite large though.
No, if you're thinking of the place we went in Columbus.
Sounds like it, yeah. It's very similar. Much bigger, much more crowded. I think they close early, like check the schedule. It might not be a dinner option, but it's a nice lunch option if you have like 20 to 30 minutes before the next round.
Yeah, and I remember last time we were there too, we went to a nice Brazilian steakhouse. I don't know if that's close to the venue, but I like going to those. It's nice to get your meat sweats on with the team, you know?
Yeah. But that's not like a Philly thing. You know what I mean? It's not like you have to get that here. That you can just get that anywhere.
You could get a cheesesteak, or you could get the gigantic steak, you know?
Yeah.
Just pretend it's your Philly cheesesteak when you get the nice like cheese with the honey, and then you get like the giant steak, dude. It's nice. That's your version of a Philly cheesesteak.
Lamb. Where's my lamb?
Yeah, exactly.
Lamb. No, those are good places. Go to any of those. But I'd recommend that anywhere you went. Any city you went to, you can go to one of those. It'll be great.
True.
Oh, if you're into matcha desserts, I'm pretty sure it's called A la Mousse. It's right around the corner from the venue. I go there every time I'm in the area. Highly recommend.
The Orc Knight asks, this set is feeling very akin to Dusk Till Dawn in that it feels like an expansion set with extra steps, unique heroes, but based in an old locale within the game. While there are some cool cards in it, hasn't quite hit the same as other major releases. Do you feel the same or a different part of the spoiler season?
I think this spoiler season, it's hard to know because of the fact that we're getting the cards so late. It's really hard to like actually make a concrete opinion. But I think this set is like hitting kind of the same in terms of my excitement to explore the heroes. Dusk Till Dawn was kind of like a meme in that, yeah, we had two heroes, but they were kind of like bad. Like, I don't know, like you read Prism's weapon, you see it's terrible. We have these heroes now with no weapon and they seem good. So I don't know. I think it's hitting fine. Just hard to know without seeing all the cards.
Yeah, the only reason I might feel that way is the lack of draft events, but I'm like normal levels of excitement to try the heroes, and I'm pretty into the wrestling theme. I think it's fun.
Yep. I'm pretty into the wrestling theme. They have Lyeth. I'm very excited about Lyeth. Well, while I'm not like, oh, I'm going to be maining Lyeth in all my competitive events, I'm like, I look at this here and I go, I'm playing at locals for a long time. Like, you know, is like the type of feel I get from it. I just identify a lot with this hero that exists. And so I'm excited about it. And I like, it seems like it's doing cool stuff. I like the theme. I like the wrestling stuff. I don't know.
I feel the same about this as like a lot of the sets, but I engage with the hobby differently than a lot of people like within the team. Like I'm sure I engage with the game the way a lot of people do engage with the game, where they're like, oh, this set doesn't support the classes I care about. It's kind of a skip for me. And like, I don't really care about the theme. So it's like, whatever, it's just another set. And like, I'm going to do some exploration a little bit, and care about the expansion slot cards, but it doesn't feel like this set's just unplayable poo-poo and I'm just ignoring all the cards in this set. Because like Dusk Till Dawn was like not just the heroes. A lot of the cards were just like, this is just unplayable. Like this is just a nonsense card, and it wasn't until like those heroes started getting more support that they started actually being playable cards.
Yeah. And I'm still holding out that Pleiades is like an interesting hero to play. Like we haven't seen enough of it to like really piece all the pieces together, but like she could be really cool. I mean,
all
she has
four of them have cool design.
Like, yeah.
And they've printed like bomb cards. Like I feel like Dusk Till Dawn, you had the angels, sure, that were clearly very good, but you didn't have this level of like bomb density in your deck. Whereas here, it's like you see that there's some mini game involved, but all of them, when resolved, you have so many 0-for-6 level cards.
Now, I immediately saw Vincent, saw the hero ability, and I was like, "This isn't it. I'm out." Like, and was completely upset with the set. To be fair, I was supposed to be getting a chain replacement, and I got like an unplayable piece of garbage. But I don't know. I don't have the same feeling looking at these heroes. These heroes all like, okay, I can see it. Like even like I memed about the Tough Nut stuff before, but it was like this could have a spot in CC at some point. I can at least see what it's trying to do.
Yeah, it'll be the best deck. Watch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at 3. They might way overcompensate for the fact that they only gave it 3 cards in your hand.
I mean, last time that happened, it didn't turn out great. Vincent only gets 3 cards in her hand.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm aware.
It's actually very close to the parallel too, because you get the theoretical +1 off the 4th card because you get the toughness token.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the key difference is the fact that you have a good weapon. Like Vincent's weapon, I'm sure it's cool. It's like probably my favorite weapon in terms of theme, but it's no romping club, it's no rock, it's no meat axe, whatever.
Okay, Scary Super Cringe asks, Florian seems to be performing well. How well can the meta adapt? Additionally, in testing, the Plume ban has hit Verdants harder than expected, such that a win with CMH Florian into a good amount of the time doesn't feel unfavored. How will this impact the meta? I do agree that the Plume hit is kind of a big deal.
But she also hasn't gotten the new card yet.
I mean,
if we're looking at like the
testing,
Battle Hardens.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I meant like testing in the future with lighted up card and no Plume. Oh, it kind of feels kind of bad. It kind of feels not favored to Florian. IMO. Which is a bad place to be if you're Verdants.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Great for Florian.
I do think the meta can adapt to Florian being the best deck. It's never been about Florian being the best deck. Can the meta adjust to this? It's about what decks are around the Florian. Can you beat all the things in that area, or at least most of the things in that area? If you could beat Florian, but you suck against like a lot of the stuff underneath him, it's just like, what are you doing with your life? Like that doesn't work.
I just don't believe Florian is the best deck. I just think people want to play him. I don't know, man.
None of us ever said he was the best deck. Gravy's still obviously the best deck. People just like playing Florian because it's easy. I'm also people.
But if he's the most played, and having results, then at some point, like it's not the best deck, but it's the best deck in form of like what you have to think about when you're going to a tournament.
This feels to me like the in Magic, the week 1 meta thing where you just play mono red aggro. It's like people are figuring shit out. I'm just gonna send it with my red cards and go face. People are figuring out the adjustments to their decks in the BNR. I'm just gonna play the simple deck with a very obvious strategy that's just going to work. Like I don't need to figure shit out. It's just gonna work. They can figure this shit out, and then I'll adjust afterwards and probably play one of those decks.
Yep. TCG Ted asks, I have heard no one tested for that LL battle hardened, so data is fake, etc. Is there an event or PQ season where LL data becomes real?
And he asked when Shane going to be on the pod.
He did also ask this.
Finally, we get to ask the questions of when Shane will be on. Shane was the one who originated the idea of a podcast. We've never had him on. So maybe talking about this publicly.
Wait, did he? I need this history.
Oh, you don't know this? That was like he wanted to do a podcast. That was like part of the reason for founding the team originally.
What?
And then
before
why
you
isn't he on
skip
the
it and-
podcast?
join the podcast.
And before you skip it and go right to the conclusion of the pod, Giant Steven also asked, when's Shane going to be on the pod?
Yeah,
I'm not letting you skip it.
Wait, why is he not on?
I agree. We need
What's
to
he
have him on.
doing?
He's never asked to be on. He can be on anytime
He's
he asks to
explicitly
be
asked
on.
not to be on, so we have to drag him on.
Correct.
Agreed.
Which is why I was skipping the question, because he said he didn't want to be on. So
It's what the people
Okay,
I
want.
was
let's
doing
do
it
it
out
real
of I was doing it out of I don't know, I think it's important. I was doing it out of respect to Shane, not because like I don't want Shane on the podcast. And now that everyone's been asking, I think it's important to clarify that to the
Yeah.
audience.
I'm doing it out of respect to Shane that he needs to do it. He needs to respect himself enough he's good enough to be on the podcast.
Agree.
Now-
I want to hear him.
Back to the actual question. It's the data will
So
stop
that
being
wasn't
fake
an actual question when Shane's going to be on the pod. Just immediately disrespected him like that.
You just basically said, I disagree with what you said. Let's move on.
I didn't say that at all. That was not even close.
It was implied, dude.
How dare
No,
you disrespect
no,
Shane like
That's what I
that?
heard.
The data will stop being fake when the tournaments are actually look like real tournaments. Like
They need stakes. They
The
need stakes.
yeah, Riptide topping the CC, changing no cards, and then topping LL. It's just like that's not a real tournament. I'm sorry, like it completely invalidates the entire tournament because like obviously people aren't playing seriously because Riptide in that form is just it's not good enough.
You need a good enough carrot to get people to want to go to this event. And now it's very competitive because you have people like going out of their way to go to the event. So you've got better data from that.
Also, like if you don't, for people at home asking, like it's because we talk to plenty of the people who have topped these battle hardens, and for the most part, or PQ pluses or whatever that was LL, and for the most part, it's just like, yeah, I just played the deck that I played the day before, and I put some cards in, or yeah, I just kind of brought another deck that was poorly played, or I just went around to friends and borrowed cards so I could put a deck together. Like when you're hearing this from a bunch of the players and some of them have topped, you're just like, this isn't a real tournament. Like you didn't put effort in, you didn't practice, like people didn't come with a deck ready to go. Like, and until that happens, none of the data means anything.
Yeah, Worlds will be the
surely when
first
you say
time for
people-
LO.
Surely people did. It's just a lot of people did not, and those people still did well. So looking at the top results is not that helpful.
Correct.
So I don't think there's ever going to be a time when LL data will become real based on our current schedule, which is quite interesting.
It'll be real at Worlds.
Yep.
King of Mice asks, do you think Gravy Bones will return to S or A tier after people have had some time to reconstruct the deck? Or do you think that the Tipple ban has knocked him down to high C, low B tier until he gets an expansion slot?
I will quote Lucas on this. I think he is an A tier hero with an S tier attitude.
I agree on the stutter. That's definitely a Lucas quote.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's lit. He's lit. Surely he'll get a good expansion slot card.
We have been podcasting too long. You know how I know? Because we're just being mean to each other now. That always happens. It's like the end of the pod. We just start sniping
Hey, you
each
get
other.
quiet too, 'cause I'm like falling asleep.
We're like, we don't need to answer the question. Let's just rag on each other.
Well, a lot of times we've been talking about it the whole podcast, right? So I'm like, okay, this is just my time to vent out something I've wanted to say for the past 2 hours, you know?
Yeah, Gravy's good. The deck's broken.
Yeah.
Grave's good. We'll see how it adjusts to the meta. It might work. We talked about it before. Carnivore asks, which spoiler card revealed up to the time of this recording has been the most exciting card for each of you? Well, we went through this already, but I still wanted to ask your question. Cool.
The most
Mike-
exciting one to me
let
has
me
not
give
been
an
revealed
answer.
yet.
Come on.
But we already did. We
Oh.
literally gave our answers.
If you want to talk about exciting,
Yep.
like a card that gets me excited for
There's only
the
been one for me.
possibility- What's up?
There's only been one for me. But you can
Okay, go with yours first.
I was hoping it was the same one.
Oh, it's not going to be the same one.
That makes sense. For
You
me, it
go
was the
first.
song. Just because I know how KO works and I can like visualize what the deck's going to look like with this in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine's also the song. Let's go with that. Continue.
Okay. Mike at Blockout Party asks, fill in the blank. at the beginning of your in phase, put a blank counter on Burn Them All, then destroy it unless you banish a red card from your graveyard for each blank counter on it.
I know this one. Do you actually know what it is, Fino? I feel like you're the most drum eye of us all.
Not only do I not know, but I went, oh, what is this grade thing, and clicked it by mistake. Not
Oh, no, you ruined it.
what's going on. So like I can't. I'm compromised.
I'm trying to think of the word because I know roughly what it is.
It's 4
like
letters.
it's like it's something for burn. It's like a synonym to
No.
burn.
It's kind
Yes,
of
it
like
is.
it's very tangentially related to burn. It's what happens when you get something changes in your salary. Is a way of saying it the same way. It's a homonym.
I don't want a puzzle on top of my puzzle. What is this?
There's a
Oh, yeah, like raise a field. Like
Yeah.
you would burn a field.
Yeah,
Yeah,
raise,
yeah.
yeah.
That's why I said it was burn. Raise. Okay, yeah. That's what I said. It's like burn. It's the same. Raising something is like setting it on fire.
agree,
Like,
yeah. Igniting
yeah,
it all.
yeah.
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 Boom. Raise counter. That was
Yeah.
right.
I knew it-
I'm
I
not
knew it-
talking on my ass.
Yeah, raise counter's
Okay,
correct.
good.
Yeah. I knew it had something to do with burn. I'm just like, it has something. It's some synonym for burn, but I don't remember what the word is.
Yeah. Nice.
Manuel asks, what is your stance on Fables ban? Sorry if this question has been answered previously. I can't remember.
Am I in that corner? On my screen,
Yeah.
I'm not in that corner, so
Yeah.
I'll trust you that that's where I'm located. Yeah, I've heard
Editor,
some rhetoric
choose the
of-
correct Fino.
Nice. Yeah, there's been some rhetoric. I've heard other people. It's not something I've ever thought of myself, but I think maybe Fables should not be legal in Classic Constructed. I don't know. I think it could be a good idea to just like ban all of them because all of them lead to way too swingy of impact on the game. And if this is a sincere question, yes, all Fables should be banned. If it's a troll question, congratulations, you succeeded.
I think we all agree on this. We just know it's not going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a pipe dream.
Well,
Okay.
that's all our questions
Nice.
for the pod. We've done it
I have
with
no
minimal
idea.
insulting. Who knows?
10 minutes
I'll
and 26
know
seconds.
when I edit it all back together from all of Fino's crashes. So other than that, we will be at Montreal, all of us.
Yep.
Actually, most people on the team will be at Montreal. Super excited. It's going to be a ton of fun, especially the first day. You get to play sealed like 3 times on the first day, which will be sick. And then we have the calling. So feel free to come up to any of us, say hi, chat. I think most of us are way more open to chatting at these type of tournaments because they're just not they're not the same level of seriousness as like the other events we go to. So I'm looking forward to meeting a bunch of people, playing some really fun games and opening the new cards and then seeing who like opens like the crazy stuff we haven't seen yet. So,
Yeah. Oh, also, if you are ever nervous about coming up to talk to any of us, I think if you tell us about like an interesting interaction or cool play, that would be a good icebreaker and would be helpful for the both of us. So please do that.
Oh, for this weekend specifically. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, for this weekend. Like, oh yeah, did you know? Like,
I was like,
you
this is my
just
nightmare.
started
What are you
that card
talking
or-
about, Noah?
You
yeah,
know,
maybe
this
on the
weekend
other
is great.
weekends.
for this weekend?
No, this weekend.
For
is
this
great, agreed.
weekend, absolutely.
Yeah, for this weekend, I'm talking about. Yeah, for Montreal.
Yeah, generally speaking,
This is
please anything
Montreal.
else.
Yeah.
I mean, any world premiere, I'm down for that.
That's
Yeah,
what
come
I
say
mean.
hi.
No, always say hi. I just don't. I just don't want my nose.
Dan is antisocial. He's mean. He hates the fans. We all
I'm
know this.
pro-social. I'm anti. Tell me your flesh and blood stories while I'm playing it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, don't tell
The
me
other thing-
stories in
Definitely
normal
talk to me.
tournaments.
That's cool.
Or maybe you can. I don't care.
He
Whatever.
hates he hates the fans. He hates Bravo. He hates the Europeans.
Yikes.
So you just a good icebreaker is you can come up and tell me how much you hate Lucas or how much you hate Dan or
No, how
anyone
much
else
you
in the
love
bunch.
Lucas and
Sure.
Dan. Come on.
Yeah. I
He
said
has
or
fans, I know it.
Give us your personal
or
tier
you could
list
be like,
of the
I'm one of the
Runaways.
4 people who actually likes Lucas, and I'd be like, okay, great,
Yeah.
perfect. Any of these are good openers.
We get some
Well,
into each
with
other.
that said, we're out. Goodbye.